Here's a perfect example of the type of Jamaican or the type of immigrant that Donald Trump administration will be deporting as soon as Trump hits office. Remember, Donald Trump is about to take office, take command, and be the man in charge, President of the United States of America again. And this starts January 20th of 2024. Donald Trump has already said deportation, rapid deportation, mass deportation starts on day one of his presidency. Right now, behind the scenes, they are gearing up with all the different agencies. They are hiring a whole bunch of new agents. They are training a whole bunch of new agents. They are renting out or purchasing facilities and turning them into holding areas for the numbers that are expected to go through these places. What a lot of people might not know is that if you're not a criminal, or if you do not have a deportation order already, more than likely you will not be at the top of the list. Now, I'm not an immigration lawyer, and I'm not saying that if you're illegal in the US, you're straight. That's not what I'm saying, because I'm absolutely sure if while ICE is out here sweeping through these neighborhoods like Trump promised they will be out doing in these streets, if they come across you and you don't have your proper documents on you and they have reason to detain you, and then they find out that you are not within status, I'm pretty sure you're going to be on the deportation train as well. However, the ones who they said already for sure will be at the top of the list are those with criminal convictions and those who are illegal in the country already, who have committed crimes as well as. So here's a perfect example of one of the Jamaicans that will be on his way back to Jamaica pretty soon. Here's the thing. They didn't show us a picture of this individual. They did not give us his name even. They just gave us the story. And this story is from ICE at their .gov. Enforcement and Removal Operations, ERO, Boston, arrested an unlawfully present Jamaican national who is convicted of second-degree robbery with a weapon in Hartford, Connecticut. Deportation officers from the ERO, or the Enforcement and Removal Operations Boston's Hartford sub-office, arrested the 25-year-old Jamaican national on April 3rd of 2024, after he was previously released by the Connecticut Department of Corrections despite having an existing active federal immigration detainer seeking his custody. So ERO went and put out a statement. Now, what that says is he was in custody. They found out that he was illegal. They put out a active federal immigration detainer on him because they wanted to keep him in custody and deport him. But the state that he was in, Connecticut Department of Corrections, released him anyways. They don't know if it was a mix-up or if they were just being illegal immigrant friendly. So ERO Boston will apprehend unlawfully present offenders like this individual who have been convicted of serious crimes and who pose a threat to the public, said the ERO Boston Field Officer Director Todd M. Lyons. Regarding immigration detainers, increases the possibility that convicted criminals will reoffend in our communities. ERO Boston will continue to prioritize public safety and will seek the cooperation of our law enforcement partners to promote safer communities in our region. In other words, anybody like him that they detain, if they find out about you, their plan is to detain you and eventually deport you. The Jamaican national was admitted into the United States in Miami, Florida, by U.S. Customs and Border Protection in April of 2007. That simply means that he came into the country legally, right? Way back in 2007. It's 2024, and they're saying that he came into the country 2007. I am guessing if he came into the country in 2007 and was admitted into the United States of America through the legal U.S. Customs and Border Protection channel, those are the people at the airport or the seaports, right? If he came in that way, he was only 8 years old when he came into the United States of America. Only 8. That means he must have been accompanied by an adult. Now, if he came in at only 8 years old, which 2024 makes it 14 years ago, I don't know what went wrong. But obviously, he might have came in on a visitor's visa, and the adults who he came in with decided to not return to Jamaica, and he himself became illegal. Or it could be that things went bad for his family. His family split up and he's out here fending for himself. I don't know what the end result of his whole family situation is, but according to the dates that they are given, that he came into the U.S. the proper way in 2007, and he's only 25 years old in 2024, that makes that 14 years ago. So he definitely was about 8 years old, somewhere there, when he first came into the country. Anyways, he's caught up in badness. He's doing armed stick-ups and all that. He's somebody on the radar. He has slipped through the cracks a few times. Even having a deportation order hold on him and still being released by the facility back out into the community, only for them to realize after they had released him who they released. So it says that the Jamaican national was admitted into the United States of America in Florida, according to the records, by U.S. Customs and Border Protection in April of 2007. In January of 2020, the Jamaican citizen, same Jamaican citizen, he was arrested again, this time on charge of second-degree robbery with a weapon by New Britain police. So he's a robber because he did it before with a gun. This time he's doing it with whatever weapon it was. I'm guessing it's a gun, but it could be a knife. They never said for the second degree. So the Jamaican national was convicted in the New Britain Superior Court in September of 2021. He committed the robbery in 2020. He went to court in 2021 and he lost his case, and he was sentenced to 10 years in state prison in the United States of America. Tell me this brother is not lucky. As an illegal immigrant, sentenced to 10 years. His 10 years was later reduced to a partially suspended sentence with probation. But why would they put him on probation if he is here illegally? You got to understand that he was also moving between different states, right? And I guess he was also probably changing up his identity. I don't know, but that's not in the paperwork that I'm seeing from ICE. Anyways, in August of 2022, the ERO, the removal people, Boston, they filed a federal immigration detainer with the Connecticut Department of Corrections at Garner Correctional Institute in Newtown, seeking custody of the Jamaican national. They wanted him. Despite the existence of an active federal immigration detainer, Connecticut State Department of Corrections released the unlawfully present felon back into the community on October 2nd of 2023 without notifying the ERO Boston. Remember, the ERO are the people who are responsible for removal of people, right? ERO meaning enforcement and removal operations. Those are the people, arm of ICE, that removes you out of the country. On March 19th of 2024, the Jamaican citizen was arrested again, this time by the police in West Hartford, in Connecticut, on charges of making violent threats, breaching of the peace, and larceny, which remain pending in the Hartford, Connecticut court. This is somebody who they're going to look at as a menace to society. He has no chance of staying here. He is somebody that they are going to try their best to get rid of. Now you have to ask yourself, right? If this brother came to the United States of America from he was 8 years old, and he is now 25 years old, if he has been illegal in the United States of America this whole time, this simply means that he has not been back to Jamaica on Jamaican soil, or else he would have been stopped at immigration and would have had to come back through with proper paperwork, right? More than likely. So an 8-year-old child comes to the United States of America. I don't think his Jamaica made him a bad person, you know. I know he was born in Jamaica, but his growing up and the badness that he learned and his misfortunes, those all came from the United States of America and his experience that he had here in the United States of America. This is just how I feel about it. I just feel like if you left Jamaica at a certain age, as a tender-aged child, you didn't even reach teenage years yet. He's 8. There's no way at 25, 30, 40, they should be sending you back to Jamaica, especially if you were not a person that would visit Jamaica on a regular basis, understand how Jamaica works, know how the runnings go, have connections in Jamaica like family members that know you and are willing to help you along the way, etc. You are going back to Jamaica to be a burden on the system. Now, this is what I call one of the ways of destabilizing Jamaica. Now, big up to the deportee them, you know, because deportation is not an end of life. Them just send we gone back our yard. And it can happen to any one of us. That's why I tell Jamaicans, even the ones who have citizenship, don't get too comfortably in your position and throw stones behind you as we say it. Because the United States of America and the other foreign countries that you live in, those are not your place of birth. And life has taught me to never say never. Can you see the things that you say never about? Give or take one or two of them, you end up having to do them anyways or experience them, and then you're looking at yourself crazy because you said I would never. You don't know in these people's place. They can literally get up tomorrow and the laws change and you are no longer favored by the law. For instance, Donald Trump said that he's going to do his best to do away with birthright citizenship. And I heard one Jamaican say he's not doing nothing wrong. He's just trying to stop these foreigners who come to the United States of America specifically to have babies. That's furthest from the truth, my friend. Birthright citizenship is not just for the people them who come to the US to have babies. Birthright citizenship under Donald Trump will require one of your parents to have been a citizen of the United States of America at the time of your birth. If your daddy was a citizen, then you will be okay. If your mama was a citizen, then you will be okay. If your mother and your father, your mother is a green card holder, your father is illegal in the country, you will be a citizen of the country of your mother or the country of your father. You will not be a United States of America citizen. You know, there are a lot of Europeans and Asians who specifically come to the United States of America to have children here, and then they take their children back to their country to raise them there in their traditional ways. Russians do it a lot. Chinese do it a lot. And then later on they send those children back because they are citizens of the United States of America through birthright. These are the things that Trump is trying to stop, right? But most of the people who are going to be affected are the people who came here under odd circumstances, maybe came as a visitor. And in the process of being a visitor, your visa ran out and you decided to overstay because you're not going back. You're just going to stay here till you get yourself straight. A lot of Jamaicans have done that. A lot of Jamaican women have came here, had babies along the way, married somebody, and got themselves straight down the road, right? Well, these kind of laws that Trump is planning to put in place would affect individuals who got their citizenship through that level. Anyways, back to this and this individual. The ERO conducts removal of individuals without a lawful basis to remain in the United States, including at the order of immigration judges with the Justice Department's Executive Office of Immigration Review, which is called the EOIR. The EOIR is a separate entity from the DHS, which is the Department of Homeland Security and ICE. Immigration judges in these courts, they make decisions based on the merit of each individual case, determining if a non-citizen is subject to a final order of removal or is eligible for certain forms of relief from removal. As one of the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement's ICE 3 operational directorates, ERO is the principal federal law enforcement authority who is in charge of domestic immigration enforcement. I know you hear a lot about ICE, but you don't hear about ERO so much. We also hear about DHS more than we hear about the ERO. DHS is the Department of Homeland Security, and you definitely don't hear a lot about the EOIR. So I'm explaining to you what all these arms are. All these entities, ERO, DHS, ICE, EOIR, all these entities will be unleashed come January 20th at the order of Commander-in-Chief Donald Trump. So don't bother think it's ICE alone going to be out here enforcing immigration laws, looking for people to deport. It's multiple agencies that are going to be out here. This Jamaican in particular is a perfect example of one of those who are going to be the first ones on the first thing smoking out of the United States of America. The ERO's mission is to protect the homeland through the arrest and the removal of those who undermine the safety of U.S. communities and the integrity of U.S. immigration laws. And its primary areas of focus are interior enforcement operations, management of the agency's detained and non-detained population, and repatriation of non-citizens who have received their final orders of removal. Basically, ICE turn you over to these people. These people take you to the courts. The courts decide. Then they hold you in custody and deport you, and that is their job. ERO's workforce consists of more than 7,700 law enforcement and non-law enforcement support personnel across 25 domestic field offices and 208 locations across the United States of America, 30 overseas postings, and multiple temporary duty travel assignments along the border. So, with that said, for those of you who are worried about your family members and friends, I tell everybody this: when them fling you out, please remember that there were a lot of Jamaicans here who did support Donald Trump, even though he made it very clear that he was going to be super harsh on illegal immigrants. You see the people them that came in through the border the other day, when Kamala Harris and her commander-in-chief, Joe Biden, had the border wide open, and a lot of Jamaicans came through then. Even some of the Jamaicans are social media famous that made it through there. Donald Trump said clearly, the people that came through then, they are at the top of his list because he views their entrance into the United States of America as illegal, and he doesn't care what any other administration says. So, with that said, we can look forward to some well-known people being caught up in immigration fracas sometime to come soon, but definitely those who have been a nuisance or have been up to criminality or who are deemed a pest and a pestilence, they will definitely be getting deported quick, fast. Stay tuned, because we will be updating you as the new immigration laws take hold come January 20th and beyond. And we will be paying close attention to the series. I call it a Netflix series because it's going to come in episodes. And I want to see every episode and how every episode goes. Stay safe, my people. Big up on yourself. Don't get in no trouble out there. Use the little opportunity to be the best thing that you can be. Exercise all these opportunities. Take advantage of all these opportunities and fulfill your wildest dreams. And then if them ready for send you go back to your yard later, even though you never do nothing, you're comfortably ready to go. I end this video by saying this. Most people who are worried about ever being thrown out of the United States of America are probably people who have not established themselves in Jamaica. Yes, a whole heap of Jamaican live a foreign and don't have a pot to piss in or window to throw through in Jamaica, their homeland. So if night should turn to day on them, and for some reason the law changes and they are no longer favored and safe, and they find themselves being thrown out, they're nervous because they wouldn't have anything to go to. Some of them, them cut off all them family members and friends, Them no connect with nobody down a yard, So you can imagine when them get a notification say you have to go. Ross, who them a go to? You see what I'm saying? Alright then. Listen, I'm going to leave this video right here. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about this one. And I'll catch you on the next video. It's SouFLoTV. I'm out. Peace.